We grow through pain. We don't go through pain. When you go through pain, you waste the blessings of pain. We grow through pain. Every time you talk about tough times you've passed through, you should also be able to talk about the wisdom you learn through that tough time. You should also talk about what God has made you to become through that pain. Because when we present our situations to God, God has two ways to deal with it. Either he changed the situation or he will use the situation to change us. Whichever way is beneficial. And sometimes his desire to change us with our situation may be stronger than his desire to change the situation. Because he created us. Come on, is that correct? He created us. Give me Ephesians 2 verse 10. He created us, and he has a plan for creating us. He designed us for something. There is an image that he has in his mind of who he designed us to be and whom he designed us to become. He said, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. There is a work, there is an accomplishment, there is a task that God prepared in advance for you to accomplish. Even before your father met your mom, even before the decision was made to bring you forth, God knew you. And there is an accomplishment, there is a task, there is a work that God designed in advance and left it for you. Remember, handwork is always a masterpiece. One of the greatest sculptors of all times was asked, how did you manage to make these masterpieces? Almost all your work are masterpieces. How do you sculpt? How do you create your masterpiece? You know what he said? He said, I don't create them. I only use my hammer and my chisel and chisel out and hammer out things that are not part of them. And they become what they are. What that means is that when I see a log of wood, I could see an image of an eagle trapped in it. I didn't create that eagle. I only saw it in it. So what do? I discovered that if I don't remove certain things, if I don't chisel out and hammer out certain things out of this wood, the eagle in it will not come out. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? So I don't create the eagle image. I may see a beautiful picture of a man bending down to pick something. I didn't create it. I only saw it. The one who created it made me see it by activating my imagination. But in my mind, I could also see that that image of a man bending down to pick an orange is trapped by certain things that should not be part of it. So what do? I take my hammer and I take my chisel and I begin to do what? Chisel out and hammer out things that should not be part of that image. Because as long as those things are part of that image, it will not appear. So when I cut where I'm supposed to cut and chisel out where I'm supposed to chisel out and remove it, the eagle will appear. It looks like I created it. No, I didn't. So when God created you as a handwork, handmade, you were not mass produced. That's why no one like you and no one can replace you. You are a handwork. Come on, give me another translation. You are what? A hand work. You are a masterpiece. You don't have a duplicate. You may find people that look like you, but they are not like you. Even identical twins has something that separated them. I once had identical twins as my childhood friends. We grew up together at some time, but not for a long time. They were deceiving us. Growing up at Idumota, their master owned 2 shops that are in 2 different places. So you go to this shop, Peter will sell to you. And you come over to the other shop, you see Paul. And you begin to wonder, is it not you that I saw at that side? How did you, I saw you at the Noah now. How did you come to Artist Street? How did it happen? He said, I just passed you now. I just passed you. I also have watched a content video where a man's wife, the twin sister of his wife, came to the house. And the man was confused. And both of them decided to torment the man for 1 month in that house. They decided the cloth they will wear every day, the hairstyle they will make every day. First of all, they didn't tell the man. She didn't tell her husband that her twin sister was coming. So the man came back from work and saw somebody that looked like his wife in the parlor. He went to kiss the person. And the lady was just looking at him. He said, Nwa, why are you looking at me like that? What is it? Did I offend you? And he hugged her, tried to press some things in her body. And the lady pushed him away. Come on, get away from here. Are you stupid? What is wrong with you? And the man was shocked. Baby, what is wrong with you? What is happening to you? And the lady woke up and walked into the kitchen. And the man carried his bag and entered his room and saw another one. When he saw another one, he began to wonder, who was I playing with? Come, what is going on here? He said, I didn't tell you that my twin sister was coming. So, who was his wife? He went, greeted that one and played with that one, and then came out. His wife left the room and came out and entered kitchen and stayed in the parlor, and the sister went to kitchen to prepare food. He came into the parlor trying to play with the one that was on the parlor, who happened to be the real wife. And that one was asking her, I've told you I'm not your wife. What is wrong with you? He ran into the kitchen and said, baby, come now. He said, which baby? 1 month, they rattled the man. So I once had friends like that, but it didn't take time because we were living together, staying together, when I got to know what I will use to identify. Because if one fall down and got injured, not 2 of them, the mark will not be on 2 of them. How many of you know? So no 2 people are the same. You are what? A masterpiece. For we are God's workmanship. Another translation. We are God's, you say we are God's what? Masterpiece. We are what? Come on. We are what? Talk to me. We are what? Say with me 5 times, I am God's masterpiece. 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 So when God looked from heaven, he sees that masterpiece he created. But he also sees other things, earthly elements that attach themselves to us. And he will decide to school us through some situations so that those things will be out. So after he took them through the way of the wilderness, the Bible said what? They were ready. They were ready. Don't be scared of the struggle you are going through. God is making you ready for something. You see, that business will grow. believe me. Believe me. That career will be successful. Believe me. You will become big in that job. But it will require process. It will require what? Process. If you keep on, if you are steadfast, if you keep on pushing, keep on making yourself available, keep on learning, keep on growing, keep on changing, that business will grow. But the person you are today may not be ready for the size the business will become in few years to come. God has gone ahead of you and he has created an image of something big you are going to be. But he needs to walk you through that place. Exodus 13. Exodus 13 again. Verse 17. Then it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country, though that was shorter. For God said, if they face war, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. They have never fought war before. They were not members of the Egyptian military. They were simply slaves. They have never handled sword. They were never trained to fight. How will they face war and win? When things become tough, they can go back. Verse 18. Verse 18. So God led the people around by the desert. The desert is never a good place to lead people. Desert is the place where your choice is very narrow. If you see water at all, you don't want to know whether it's clean and safe. You just want to quench your thirst. If you ever see water, if it is raining, you don't want to look for mansion where you will run into. If it's night, you are not looking for foam. Your options are very narrow. So God led the people around by the desert road toward the Red Sea. The Israelites went up out of Egypt ready for battle. Ready for the giants in their promised land. Ready. Now, there are a few things I want to show you. Look at Deuteronomy chapter 8. About the value of struggle and the value of pain in the journey of destiny. Particularly when it has to do with working with God. Deuteronomy 8 verse 2. And you shall remember that the Lord your God led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness. It wasn't Satan that led them to the wilderness. It was not their mistake that led them into the wilderness. It was not their sin that pushed them into the wilderness. It was not because they failed to do what they ought to do. It was God who led them. You shall remember that the Lord your God led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness. Number one, to humble you. Humility is the foundation for greatness. The Bible says that God resists the proud, but he gives grace to who? To the humble. You know, last week we took time to look at grace. Do you remember? God gives grace. God does not want to create anything you will have to resist. You are a child of God. You have been adopted. You are born again. You have been sanctified. You are filled with the Spirit of God. You are a family member. You are no longer a slave. You are a son. God does not want to resist his son. So he wouldn't want you to come into a situation where heaven will have to resist you. You are a product of grace. Your destiny is to enjoy grace throughout your lifetime. Your destiny is to enjoy the help of God throughout your lifetime. It is the desire of our Father to give us the kingdom, not to have us destroyed on the way. So the first thing that delay in the journey does to us is to humble us. Humble us. Humble us. If marriage don't humble you, raising children will. You can't count how many times in the course of raising children that you become helpless. And you can't tell what will happen next. And you have no choice than to depend on the everlasting arm. Business humbles us. You know, like soccer fans, it is easy to stand by the side and criticize those who are playing. What is this idiot doing? My friend, pass the ball. Look at him. Olochi, Olori Bruku. So it is easy to criticize those who are running business until you start your own. The joy of humility is that it brings you to the place of dependence. And nobody who depends on God ever fails. The second thing about humility is that it brings you to the place of sympathy and empathy. You will no longer look down on people who are going through the situation because you yourself have been there. And you acknowledge that you are able to survive because God helped you. It is in the place of humility that people enter into different covenants with God. If you bring me out, I will do this. If you help me do this, I will do this. They enter into all manner of covenant. Humble situations makes us compassionate for those who struggle with the same struggle. So, remember that the Lord your God led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness to, number one, humble you. Number two, test you to know what was in your heart, whether you would keep his commandment or not. When the Bible says God is testing you, what is he looking for? He's seeking loyalty. Will you be dependable? He wants to expose your motive. When Andrew and the other man heard from John the Baptist, this is the Lamb of God, and they followed Jesus, the first thing that Jesus asked them is, what do you want? What do you want? Delay in achieving your aim exposes your motive. Why are you in business? To make money or to build a business? Why are you in business? To meet your own need or to meet the needs of the society? Resistance helps us to review what we are doing. It also helps us to think in terms of innovation. Resistance brings the best out of us. And God wants you to be your best. Is somebody tonight? If Israel didn't go through the wilderness, they wouldn't have known God the way they knew him before they crossed Jordan. Come on. You know, after crossing the Red Sea, the first water issue. That water issue came, okay, let's say in 4 ways. 4 stages. Here was the Red Sea. They crossed. When they crossed the Red Sea, it was bitter water. They were thirsty, they found water, but it was bitter. God also showed them that he can turn bitter water into sweet. That's knowledge. That was the only way they could know that aspect of God. Come on, are you with me? After the bitter water, the next phase of water problem was there was no water at all. And when there was no water at all, they murmured, they complained. Shortly after that, when there was no water at all, you know what happened? They discovered another aspect of God, that water could come out of a stone. Moses was asked to go and strike a stone, a rock. They don't know where it came from. And before the eyes of the elders of Israel, Moses went to the rock and struck the rock. Water came out. The best water they ever drank. They drank water. They have known God as God who can turn existing bitter water into a sweet water. They have also known God as God who provides water where there is no water at all. The next trouble of water, the next stage in their water transaction was they now came to a place called Elim, where they found 12 wells. Water in excess. The city of palm tree. 12 wells. And they saw 12 wells, nobody owned them. They didn't know what to do again with water. They now found that there is this God who can actually meet your need and meet it at excess. So if they didn't go through wilderness, they wouldn't know God. Wait for him in that situation. He's going to show you something. I say wait for him in that situation. There is a revelation of God that is coming to you. And that revelation is going to be personal. You see, when I talk about how my wife is treated fibroid without surgical blade, you can count how many people on this earth that ever had that experience. It was personal. We can't even teach you what to do so that you can have the experience. Come on, are you with me? We can't even, it's not the situation where somebody who is having the same challenges come. You say, well, I know what to do. It happened to me, and this was what I did, and this was how it was solved. We can't even teach you, because it was a sovereign act of God. And it did not happen on a private day where only 2 of us we know. It didn't happen while we are away from Lagos. It happened on a wedding day in our church. And all eyes saw it. So we now know that it's God who is a chief surgeon. So if we are pushing anybody into the theater now, we know whether it's going to be done by a doctor or not. There is God who will supervise it. He knows what to do. And he can direct the finger of the doctors. I can't hear you say amen. Wait for God in that situation. I see him coming. He's going to give you an experience that is personal. How many of you know that revelation locks us in God? When the multitude were leaving Jesus, he turned to his disciples and said, will you not also go? They said, no. We know that you are he who was and he who is to come. Those people that left didn't have the revelation. Revelation locks you in God. So the purpose of taking them through the wilderness is to lock them inside of himself. By showing them this God that delivered them from slavery. Tonight, I want to encourage you. Why am I talking about pain today? Because it is too much in our country. It is too much in our nation. It is there in every house. It's there in every individual. There is no one person who is not facing one struggle or the other. It's there. Why am I talking about pain today? So that you will know that it is not an abnormal experience. Why am I talking about pain today? Because the devil will want you to give up and throw in the towel, so that you can abort the process that will lead to your greatness. But I want you to straighten your grips. It's not going to be too long. This stage will pass. Because every height you are going to attain, God will have to prepare you. But for your next height, for your next level, this current pain will pass. That amen is very weak. Oh, I say that amen is very weak. You know, I was talking with somebody this January about house rent and shop rent. He said, that is so tough. I said, but it was just last year you got freed from yoga. And they beg you to stay in that house at least 2 years. I am aware that yoga offered you 24 months to live in his house. Of course, he gave you a shop. And after 1 year now, he won't come and pay for it. He gave you a shop. He put goods there. He said, I thank God for my yoga. I said, good. But he told you, stay with me for 24 months and gain strength. You said, no, you wanted your own house. I said, how? I told you, it's only 1 year you pay. You shake your pocket, it's easy. But you don't know that 1 year is just 12 months. He said, honestly, Dada, I don't know if I remove money and renew my shop rent, how I will pay the house rent. And you know, this electricity is flying like water. I say yes. Freedom is not free. Oh, you didn't hear me. I say freedom is not free. That time you were living in his house. Free food, free transport, free everything. But you didn't have freedom. You couldn't go where you want to go. If you come in before 8 o'clock, you explain to madam, not to girl, to madam. And you know, boys don't want to deal with madam. You explain to madam why you are coming by 8. Now you don't want madam to supervise you, but you have to pay rent. Not only paying rent. The moment your younger brother heard that you paid for 1 room, he packed his things from Onitsha, land in Lagos. So you are not feeding 2 people. Pain is part of the journey. Don't run away from it, embrace it. With this assurance, it is working out for your good. Bow down your head and let's pray. Our pain will not be in vain. It will not be in vain. It will not be in vain. I want you to tell God, I surrender to your process. I am not giving up. You know what this country will be. You choose to make me a citizen of this country. You choose that I should be alive in this nation in a time like this. You know how things will turn out. You This season didn't come to you by surprise. And even while this season is coming, you have a plan for me. Lord, shield me in your plan. Protect me. This harsh weather will not damage my life. It will not damage my children. The stress, the pain, the struggle that all of us are going through will not damage anyone. Tonight, we ask and we receive grace. We receive the covering of grace, and we receive the help from your everlasting arm. Nothing will be too difficult for us. It will not go beyond accomplishing that which you have in your mind. It is for our